Hi, this is April. Welcome back to my channel. If you are in the market for a vlogging camera that is easy to use, I am sure you have probably come across the GoPro Hero 11, which is $399. And I'm also sure you've come across the Sony ZV-E10, which is $699 without the lens. It's $799 if you want to include the 16 to 50 kit lens. Today I wanted to compare the footage that you can get with both of these cameras and show you a few of the scenarios that each one of these is best suited for. Now, being someone with visual impairment, ease of use is super important to me. And I'm sure no one appreciates when something is overly complicated to use. But the GoPro Hero 11, it's nearly ready to use right out of the box. You simply turn on the power button, and the record button couldn't be easier to find. It's right on top, it's in red. The screen is quite small, but honestly, there's just a few gestures that get you to your different settings. Once you record a video, you can just swipe up and it'll start playing your last recorded video. You can swipe left and right for your different modes, such as video, photo, and time warp. This isn't a detailed tutorial on how to use a GoPro, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get started. As you'll see in this upcoming footage, stability is amazing with the GoPro. I think stability is the major selling point for the GoPro, as well as the super wide aspect that you get. And this is a test with the GoPro Hero 11. This is using linear mode. How does the audio sound for this one? The one downside of the GoPro is low light situations. As you can see, it doesn't do super great. It has a really small sensor, which doesn't do as well in low light. Now, the battery life is only 80 minutes, and that's been a major downside for me. I need to buy some spare batteries for sure. Now, you know I'm not heavy into specs on this channel, but the sensor size in the GoPro Hero 11 is 1:1.9, and it's an 8:7 ratio, 27 megapixels. One of the best things about the GoPro Hero 11 is it can do 5.3K and up to 60 frames per second. Then you have the Sony ZV-E10, which is really equally as easy to use. It has a dedicated record button on the top, very easy to find. It has a screen that flips to the side so you can record yourself easily, and it also rotates. Now, whereas the GoPro could do 5.3K at 60 frames per second, the Sony ZV-E10 only does 4K at 30 frames per second, which is really no slouch. The main advantage of the Sony ZV-E10 is the interchangeable lens system. You can get so many different lenses to suit your needs. You can get wider angle lenses to do vlogging. You can even get telephoto lenses if you want to shoot something that's super far away. I've enjoyed this actually for wildlife photography, believe it or not. The main advantage is you can use a Sony ZV-E10 so much more easily for photography as well as video. So if you're into photography, I would say get the Sony ZV-E10. The GoPro can take pictures, but I do believe the image quality is so much better coming out of the Sony ZV-E10. The Sony ZV-E10 has an APS-C style sensor, and it's 24 megapixels. The battery life is slightly longer on the ZV-E10. It's 125 minutes versus the 80 minutes on the GoPro 11. The major downside of the Sony ZV-E10 is stability. It does have active steady shot, which I will show you. But even with active steady shot turned on, which crops in at 45%, it is still not as stable as the GoPro Hero 11. And this is a stability test of the Sony ZV-E10. And this is a test of the Sony ZV-E10 with the active steady shot turned on, and as you can see, it has a 45% crop. Does it look any more stable? Now, the Sony ZV-E10 does a lot better in low light scenarios than the GoPro, as you can see here. Now, this does record gyro data, so you can actually stabilize your footage in a program called Catalyst Browse after the fact, which takes about 3 minutes to render 1 minute of footage, so it is extra processing time. The major selling point for the Sony ZV-E10 as far as video goes is that interchangeable lens system. You can get amazing image quality, that shallow depth of field with the bokeh in the background, depending on what kind of fast prime lens you might select. With the GoPro Hero 11, you're not getting that shallow depth of field, and the colors are a little bit more saturated than the Sony ZV-E10 coming straight out of the camera. One last factor in choosing the Sony ZV-E10 over the GoPro Hero 11 might be how discreetly you want to film. GoPro Hero 11 allows you to record with all of the LED lights turned off, so you can secretly record in a store if you're wearing this on some kind of a strap and no one really knows what you're doing. With the Sony ZV-E10, of course, you really can't take this into certain stores and film, but with the Sony ZV-E10, you're much more conspicuous, even though this is a very low profile camera, but it's a major consideration. If your funds allow, they actually complement each other quite nicely. So if you don't have to choose one over the other and you want a great action camera, you could get the GoPro Hero 11. And then if you want to focus more on image quality, you could use a Sony ZV-E10 for other situations. Both of these are a great option. And if you want, you can check out my Amazon affiliate links in the description below. It'll help out the channel. If you like this video, give it a like, consider subscribing as I try to find the best camera for a beginner like me.